Beer here back in the fantasy bar. The NFL season is back, and I am here once again with 6 of my favorite plays on FanDuel and DraftKings, including a cheap quarterback wide receiver pairing, some of my favorite correlation plays on the slate, and of course, my favorite play of the night. Who do you got to pay up for this week? Belly up to the fantasy bar and find out. Welcome in, guys. Week 1 is here. 6 of my favorite plays fresh off the tap for you. This is Beer's Daily Fantasy 6-Pack. Thank you, as always, for stopping by and checking out the video. If you're an old timer, you know what we do. 6 picks each and every week on FanDuel and DraftKings for the NFL season. If you are new, welcome aboard. We're glad to have you. Sit back, grab that cold one, and listen as I give you 6 of my favorite plays. Now, before we get into things, first thing, make sure you click that thumbs up button on YouTube, guys. Very important. These videos are free. That is the tip jar here in the fantasy bar. A way to say thank you here, and I greatly appreciate it. Secondly, make sure you subscribe to the channel, get notified when these videos are coming out. And lastly, make sure you guys head over to scoresandodds.com/beer for all of your sports betting needs, premium picks from some of your favorite personalities. I will be giving you some of my favorite premium picks in the NFL as well this season, but not just NFL picks in every single sport under one umbrella. Tons of analytics, compare odds across different sports books. Go and check it out today. Weekly, monthly, yearly subscriptions available at scoresandodds.com/beer. All right, let's get into week 1. Looks like a fun main slate, a ton of games, and we've narrowed things down to 6 of my favorite plays. Let's start at the running back position with James Robinson of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Ownership-wise, I don't think you're going to get a lot of ownership here on James Robinson. Got a lot of high-end running backs. You got concerns in his own backfield. How is Carlos Hyde going to be used here? Urban Meyer's boy. How is Duke Johnson going to acclimate into this offense? Is he going to be the pass-catching back here? We talked to Urban Meyer. People concerned about how well he's going to be able to coach this team. All in all, I think what it's going to do is lower James Robinson's ownership to a point we feel really good about it in tournaments and even cash games. You talk about a floor, and I realized played almost all the snaps, got almost all the touches last season, and that was part of the reason. But this guy gave us double-digit DraftKings points in every single game last season, so very, very consistent. Also had some outings where he showed us his ceiling at 30 or more DraftKings points, and the matchup, like we mentioned, no team in the NFL allowed more DraftKings points or rushing yards than this Houston Texans team. They're going to be bad. James Robinson going to take advantage here. Love the Jaguars this week and love James Robinson on both FanDuel and DraftKings. All right, I promised you a quarterback on the cheap. We're going to go to Carolina and roll with Sam Darnold. So you talk about stacking partners here. We'll pick your poison here with Sam Darnold. You got DJ Moore. Check. You got Robbie Anderson. Check. You got Terrace Marshall. The rookies look great in the preseason. Check. You've also got the best running back in the game and the best pass-catching running back in the game, arguably, in Christian McCaffrey. So a lot of different ways that you can go here with Sam Darnold. We look at the Jets, fantastic matchup here. And I know new coaching staff, all that, things will change, but just based on last season, we're talking about Tino's bottom 5 in passing yards, touchdowns, and fantasy points allowed to the quarterback positions. Now, they made some changes. I don't see significant enough changes where this defense is suddenly going to be outstanding against the pass. Carolina, nice home favorites here. And the old revenge narrative. You guys know I love me some narratives here. Sam Darnold playing against his former team here. That's the cherry on top here. I love the matchup. I love the price here. Sam Darnold, one of my favorite value quarterbacks on the week, especially over on DraftKings at just $5,000. Now, we mentioned we like Sam Darnold. We mentioned all those receivers. Who do we pair him up with? For me, it's his old teammate, Robbie Anderson. We're going with him as our wide receiver here against the New York Jets. So Robbie Anderson, fantastic last season. Now he gets his quarterback back here in Sam Darnold. Was a target monster last season in this offense. And I know we get McCaffrey back. We get Terrace Marshall. I still think Robbie Anderson going to be a focus of this offense. But 7 or more targets in 12 of his 16 games last season. Had a massive season in 2020. I think the sky's the limit here in 2021. In fact, I like this game so much, I think you can stack this game a lot of different ways. We talked about the Carolina side with Sam Darnold, with all the ways you can stack him on the Jets. Really like Corey Davis, Elijah Moore as run it back options. I think this game goes over the total Love the stack here. Love Robbie Anderson in all formats here this week against his former team. All right, let's stay at the wide receiver position. Next play for you, another value play with Michael Pittman Jr. of the Colts. So this is one of those pricing plays. The sites price things early in week one. Michael Pittman not priced as the wide receiver one. Well, a lot has changed here in this Colts offense, specifically T.Y. Hilton going down with injury. So you're getting a wide receiver one at very, very wide receiver 2/3 prices here. Hell, DraftKings, you're getting him as a wide receiver 4 basically at 4,100. So you add all that up, you add the price, you add T.Y. Hilton, and you add the Seattle offense, who's going to put up points. That's going to force Indianapolis to the air. There's a lot of things in the factor here of Michael Pittman, the reason why to get him in those lineups here in week one. Not only that, but the matchup. Seattle, second most receiving yards allowed and the most receptions allowed to the wide receiver position. I think you really see a breakout here out of Michael Pittman, and it starts here in week one against the Seattle Seahawks. All right, moving right along, got to get you a tight end. We're going to go to Value Town here with Robert Tonyan of the Packers. Now, I love Travis Kelce. I love George Kittle, but if you can't find a way to get up to those guys, I think Tonyan, a nice option for you and a way to pivot off of some of the excitement and the energy and the ownership that's going to be with Kyle Pitts. So I like Kyle Pitts as much as the next guy, but Tonyan, a fantastic option here against the Saints. I'm really expecting him to take a leap here this season. We saw the touchdowns. They're big time for Tonyan and Aaron Rodgers last season. I don't think that changes a ton here with Tonyan. We know Rodgers probably going to come crashing down a little bit, but the Packers expected to score some points here. In fact, only 2 teams have a higher projected team total on this slate, and the Saints have struggled a little bit with tight ends. Bottom 10 in touchdowns allowed last season. We know that's the name of the game here with Robert Tonyan. Nice value here, especially on DraftKings, just 4,200. All right, it's time to take a look at my favorite play for week one. But before we do that, we want to continue and run a Beast of the Week contest. Very simple to play. It's free. All you got to do, get in the comment section right below the video and get fantasy points on DraftKings for my favorite play of the week. The closest guess is going to win themselves a free month of RotoGrinders Premium, a chance to check everything out. Again, just get in that comment section, free to play. Fantasy points on DraftKings for my favorite play. So let's wrap this baby up. My favorite play for week one, you know him as the Beast of the Week. All right, Beast time. You one more running back. A lot of options on the high end. I've narrowed it down to my favorite play, and that's running back ALVIN KAMARA of the Saints, this week's Beast of the Week. Now, no Michael Thomas here for New Orleans. You look around at the weaponry there, it really lacks. Marquez Callaway going to be a popular name in DFS, but ALVIN KAMARA going to be leaned on heavily here by this New Orleans Saints offense, and this matchup does not get much better. This is my team. I know how bad they are against the run. In fact, KAMARA torched them for almost 50 DraftKings points in this matchup last season. Green Bay, bottom 10 in receptions, fantasy points, rushing TDs allowed to the running back position. New quarterback in play. I don't think anything changes here with ALVIN KAMARA, one of the highest ceilings in the game. Easily my favorite spend on both sides. And ALVIN KAMARA, easily my favorite play for week one in this week's Beast of the Week. All right, guys, that wraps up for week one here in the Fantasy Bar. Any comments, questions, feedback, hit me up in the comment section right below the video. We'll also be doing a video specifically for Yahoo for week one and moving forward, so keep an eye out on that. And guys, thank you for watching. Appreciate it. Again, any comments or questions, get in that comment section right below the video. Football is back. We're going to be back for another season here in the Fantasy Bar. For RotoGrinders.com, I am Beermakersfan. Salute. Best of luck here in week one, guys. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Hey, thanks for checking out our videos. If you want more expert advice on DraftKings, FanDuel, or any other daily fantasy sports, make sure you check out the current videos playlist